I can still remember what it was like the first time I stepped into a race car. The sound of the engine, the anticipation, but I never could have imagined where this journey would take me. My father once told me that racing is just like life. You have to stay on your toes, because you never know what's around the next corner. My name is Bill Watson, and this is my story.
Bodies in the sand, tropical drinks melting in your hand. We'll be falling in love to the rhythm of the steel drum band down in Kokomo. What you have there is some misguided research by the producers of this broadcast, because from Kokomo Speedway in Kokomo, Indiana, it's the Global Sim Racing Channel's Round 10 coverage of the CSI Shocks Spring Season Championship. Now, the last time the series visited Kokomo, Indiana, was round 2, when current point leader Brendan Rogers made his season debut by winning the night. Strangely, though, despite earning the most points, the Camarillo Cannonball did not win the main event. That honor went to Corey Day, who is here tonight and is currently the fastest in practice. But tonight featured the winged 360 sprint car. Tonight, the drivers are back in the midgets for a third time. When the little cars have been featured, it has been the big names, with Aiden Perdue winning in the midgets at Limaland and Rogers winning at the Chili Bowl. What will happen tonight? Well, find out as all the dirt track action, including the heats, the semis, and the A-Main, can be seen live as it happens right here on the Global Sim Racing Channel. For all the misplaced Hoosiers out there, a sympathetic back home again in Indiana, and welcome to another GSRC broadcast. Buckeye Joe Peak joins yours truly, Bill Soups, on way up the press box to bring you our Words Eye View. Sean Crackers Ambrose has director duties, armed with cameras provided by Dougie Beard. Joe, for the viewers who missed our round 2 coverage, well, shame on them. How about you tell them a little bit about Kokomo?
Sure thing, Bill. What you have here is a very shallow quarter-mile racetrack, progressive banking. Doesn't sound that unique in the overworld, right? Well, Kokomo presents an odd conundrum. The progressive banking honestly doesn't start until you get way to the outside. In the wing sprint cars, it was much easier to float with that outer edge. The midgets are more finicky with a lot more sliding involved, but it's still appropriate that the tiny cars have been brought here for this round. It's not just the length that makes it fitting, but the fact that when this track was built, the intent was to run nothing but the midgets. It's seen lots of action from other types of cars over its half-century plus of history, but today we go back to the roots. Time is running out this season to get yourself noticed, so if anyone wants to make an impact, well, Bill, this is the place to try and do it.
Should be fun to see as our season gets near the end here. This and 2 more to go after that. With that in mind, let's go ahead and take a look at the driver standings. Now, keep in mind that these point standings take into account the 2 drop.
Two drop rounds, of course, that you see up at the top right that have Brendan Rogers up at the top. Aiden Perdue is about 60 points back. It's a much closer fight between Perdue and Chance Crum. There you can see just about 22 points between them. And then even closer back to Corey Day, who's very fast in the warm-up currently. In fact, the fastest in our warm-up. Then it's a big jump back to Chad Wheeler. So really, Purdue, Crum, Day, and a tight little fight, all trying to chase down Brennan Rogers at the top of the standings. Let's see if we've got Bill back after it seems like he had a little bit of trouble there. Oh, it looks like we have lost him, unfortunately. So let's then, of course, go to the hard charger competition that they hold. Bryce Lucius is well up there, but from there on back, look at that. 2 back to Kobe Stidham, 3 back to Chad Wheeler, and then it's tied even for that 3rd position. Jonathan Schaefer sharing it with a Muskogee driver from Oklahoma. Aiden Purdue, because he's been so successful, has had a little bit harder time trying to get those hard charger awards. Obviously, if you start up at the top, often it's hard to try and gain those positions. So he's down in 5th currently in that hard charger. I think now we finally got Bill back. Let's double check. Bill, do we have you for the series details?
I think we can do that. Let's go ahead and talk about it. We talked about where we are is round 10 of 12, so this one and 2 more to go after that. Our car today, car of choice, the weapon of choice is the Dirt Midget. We've had it twice before. This is our 3rd time with it. Setups, well, it's fixed, so the guys just go out there and puts it all in the driver's hand. We have the format is some heats, we'll have semis, and then the A-main that usually has anywhere between 14 to 16 drivers. And there are some cash prizes, about $2,000 that they can go ahead and use. A lot of these drivers race in the real world, so a lot of those cash prizes are parts that they can use in their real world race cars.
Always convenient for the drivers to get those
Absolutely.
Pretty cheap. Looks like we got pretty ideal conditions out here, Bill. Nice and cool. And 50% humidity. I can tell you, having just come back from the Midwest, it certainly doesn't feel like that right now out there, but at least here in the virtual world, it looks like a very beautiful night for racing here in Kokomo, the 500. And being from Cincinnati, my home is really not too far from all the down-home racing that you can find here in Indiana and places all throughout the Midwest. So this feels very familiar to me.
I bet you does indeed. Corey Day continues to be our fastest practicer. Aiden Purdue, who's trying to run down our points leader of Brennan Rogers. Purdue is 2nd. We see that Purdue is here. Rogers is also here. And then another driver to keep an eye on. He doesn't sit well up in the point, Alex Bergeron. He has a couple perfect scores this season. He has a couple wins. He was late to the show. Hey, there's the driver, Jonathan Schaefer. Keep an eye on him. He just sits off the overlay in 6th, just 2 points from making our top 5 overlay. Expect him to be there tonight as Chad Wheeler, again, is not here.
The warm-up that's still going on out there. I'm seeing a lot of what I experienced in my practice out in this car, and it is very, very tricky. It's a wide track, which sounds easy, but because it's so shallow, the thing that I found, Bill, is when the revs would start to get down, this car loves to lift the front wheels off if you stay in the gas too hard. So it takes a lot of feathering, and you're going to see drivers have to get out of it to avoid lifting up those front wheels, because you really lose a lot of control doing that. And if anything, it pretty much spins you out pretty easily.
Watching practice, there are a lot of drivers trying to get the bottom line to work. I think they're just a little bit of wishful thinking down there. The fast line does seem to be the top line.
Yeah, currently that seems to be the case. We'll see how it evolves, because they've already slicked off quite of the low line, and it is very, very tough to run that high line into these cars, especially compared to those 360s. It's a small margin for error, and in these cars, when something goes wrong, it tends to go wrong in a big way, because they have such a short wheelbase build that if they go tumbling, you can see right there, like Bradley experiences, they just don't stop for a long time.
The driver I want to look at is the driver in car number 41. He is our fastest practicer right now. I'm talking about Corey Day, the youngster out of Clovis, California. Corey Day out there in the number 41. I'm looking at him right now. Corey Day going around right now. Okay. Guess we're not going to look at Corey Day. Okay. Bye. Okay.
We've got a little bit of a technical issue to see. Corey Day is circulating right now, but for some reason he's not showing up for us.
There's Corey Day. What I want to talk about Corey is really, really fast. He has a win, 13-year-old out of Clovis, California. Really, really good in these midgets. Look for him to be very competitive tonight. Sit third in the points.
Hopefully we don't have too many drivers have issues with the connections with the way that I've seen some of the close racing here in the warm-up. Corey Day, one of them, seems to be that is struggling a little bit to get his internet connection stable. And if these cars start to, well, they call it discoing, and I initially thought, Bill, that was in reference to them jumping around, that they're dancing around. But it's short for disconnect. But it's very appropriate because the car can sort of disappear and reappear in places you don't expect. And again, open wheel cars here, if they make connection with tire to tire unexpectedly, it sends them bouncing, and it just, it ends your race prematurely.
Got it. Another driver that's had an issue with that all season long is the man who stood second in points, Aiden Perdue. He's currently down in pit lane right now, second fastest in practice. And we're looking at Jake Erickson in his number 14. Whoa! Trying to get that woad up.
Good example right there. One driver I'm surprised to be so far down is Alex Bergeron. I think he may have joined a little bit late, but coming off of his success, Alex certainly doesn't look like he's pretty comfortable here in this midget so far. We'll see if that changes in the qualifying.
First, we're talking about coming off success. He was the winner of the iRacing 2019 World of Outlaws NOS Energy Drink, the Sprint Car Championship. And that came with it not only the honor of winning, but a check for $12K, which is kind of nice. That'll help.
Absolutely. Especially anybody who has any real-world racing hopes, $12,000 certainly will go handy towards helping that. They always say, Bill, when you ask how fast you want to go, the answer is how much do you want to spend?
There you go. Not sure about Alex's marriage status. I hope it didn't let any cats out of the bag.
He's pretty young from what I understand.
Okay.
So.
All right, looks like practice is done, so now we'll get down to the business at hand and putting into qualifying time. Unlike practice, where they all get to share the track, qualifying is sole practice. They'll be out there all by themselves.
Thing to note about this qualifying for anybody new watching here is not only do they get the track to themselves, but they only get 3 timed laps to try and put this one in. And that'll be very important because if you spin out, if you touch the wall, if you go through the grass, that lap is discounted. So you got to get a clean lap in.
There's Andrechuk.
It's already put the second fastest time in, but he's struggling there. So I'm not sure if he's going to get his other 2 laps in.
Now here's a guy to watch out for, Logan Rumsey. We don't talk about him much. He has a bad lap there, but he's our fastest qualifier so far. Put in a 12.71, and now he's beat by who else? Aiden Perdue.
Perdue certainly seems to be a one-lap wonder of sorts when it comes to qualifying. Almost always puts himself up in the top 5. It's like Rogers manages to take the pole away. Corey Day once again showing how good he is around here.
Hopefully his internet will hang in for him because he is really quick.
Here's one to watch. The number 12 of Bergeron is currently out on track just to get going. Remember, I wondered if he showed up late and didn't get a fresh track to see if he was fast. So now we're really going to be able to see what he's got now that he's on equal footing.
Hasn't put in a time yet, and that one's not going to do very well for him. I think he probably can get another one in.
He's going to have to fully abandon it. I think he's going to have to start a completely new one here. And he's got 3 minutes. That's plenty of time.
All right, so Alex going to get it out, his warm-up lap. There's Hunter Brady.
Currently sitting in 11th, and looks like he's done with his qualifying. Stidham doing very well sitting in 6th. I think Bergeron just went around to get that first time lap. He flirts really really close down to those tires at the apexes, Bill, and that is a real scare. You can clip those and flip your car.
First lap puts him in 12th. That's not what he's looking for. Let's see if he can do better this time around. Trying to keep...
He loves to cut low with a high entry, and the reason that really tends to do well here, or at least seems to be his focus, is because these cars, if you can get the power down well, they have a lot of grunt underneath them, so you can carry a lot of speed off the corner and gain time off of it.
And of course, maybe being fast is in qualifying not as important as being quick where the other guys aren't. There's chance.
Yeah. Reading the track's going to be a big one today just because of the unique banking around here. Knowing exactly how to find that speed could really gain you some spots. It's a wide track. There's places to pass. Certainly not going to be like the Chili Bowl, Bill.
Yes. Now, of course, being fastest in qualifying not only gets you a good spot in the heat race, but it also earns you some points in what is called the Pit Logic Quick Time Award. Pit Logic is the most comprehensive chassis and shock setup application on the market, available on Google Play or on the Apple App Store. Check them out at competitionsuspension.com/CSI-logic-app.
I think everybody's got their laps in. We're just essentially waiting for qualifying to wrap up here this last minute. It's just made so that if drivers did come out at the end, they are able to get laps in. But I believe every single driver has put one in at this point.
Great shot as we look off the tail.
You know, the other thing about this being in Indiana, Bill, is with its long history, it's been around since '47. I mean, they've had Mario Andretti race here, Foyt's raced here. A lot of big names have hopped over from the Indianapolis Motor Speedway, which really isn't too far, and driven here back when, you know, IndyCar racers drove dirt to try and come up through the ranks.
There's a few practice laps being put in now as everybody has their time. They're just getting ready for the heat races that are coming up. A lot of big names up on top. One name that's a bit surprising, Matt Moore, sitting in fourth. Keep an eye on him. Not sure how many heats we're going to have, whether he'll be on the pole of his own heat or if he'll be teamed up with one of the other drivers. And qualifying is done. So let's go ahead and talk about our first heat. And that's going to be brought to you thanks to Joe's Racing Products. Joe's Racing Products design and manufacture quality and innovative race products in the USA. Find out more at joesracing.com. Mr. Peak.
Brendan Rogers is going to be starting up front with Matt Moore starting next to him. Row 2 will have Chance Crum in third and Chase Randall in fourth. Jonathan Schaefer, who you mentioned, has been faring well in the points, will be starting halfway down the field, though. He's all the way in fifth. Matt Kaiser, P6, and Parker Leake, 7th. Colin Mitchell will start 8th. Brandon McCullough in 9th. And Ryan Mitchell will round out this 10-car field. But, Bill, only 2 of these drivers will be able to advance to the main just by finishing well today.
On tap tonight, we will have 3 heats where Joe just said that the top 2 will advance in each of those heats. We'll have 2 semis where the top 5 will advance, and that'll give us our field of 16 for the main event. Glad you're with us. It's the CSI Shocks Spring Season Championship, and boy, this has been fun to cover.
And the number 9 is having all kinds of problems with blinking. That's Matt Moore. They're asking him to maybe back out of the sim and trying to come back in, which is unfortunate since he's starting on the front row. He has good chances of advancing, but not if he's going to be racing like this.
He qualified in that 4th position. There you see Matt Moore up front, trying to see if he has an internet connection. Now he's back up to the outside of row number 1. Driver to keep an eye on. Watch out for Jonathan Schaefer inside of row 3. Time to go racing. Rogers takes the low line up on top. That's Matt Moore. Look at the momentum from Moore, but he's not going to be able to get there.
You still got the track underneath you. The low line seemed to be the fastest for me. But again, that went away pretty quick when it slicked up, and already Rogers moves up to the high side.
It's Chance Crum down there working the low line, trying to get 3rd. Chase Randall will have the momentum. He'll get 3rd. Crum falls back to 4th.
Right now, everybody's trying to catch Matt Moore, who's the last in the transfer position. Randall and Crum duking it out for that third spot, but they're only going to get crumbs if they keep fighting side by side like that.
Moore seems to be solidly connected. He behind Brendan Rogers, who's looking to get one more heat win. He has yet to be defeated in a heat race. There was a pass for fifth position. Matt Kaiser got underneath, and he puts him in the wall. Kaiser's night is done, at least in this event.
Yeah, in fact, he's on his lid, so he is definitely done. I'm seeing a lot of drivers struggling with exactly what I struggled with, which is the car gets all kinds of loose off the corner with those wheels, those front wheels coming off the ground. Look at it. If we watch Brennan right here, you'll see the front end just flirt with grip.
A battle for second as he gets underneath. He's going to lose it. Taking a dive under with Chase Randall. He got underneath Moore. Rogers getting the white flag lap. The battle is for second, though. Moore on the top side being chased. Chase Randall gets underneath him. This is going to be a close call for second. And going in the wall is Moore. And also losing momentum is Randall. Schaefer's going to get second. Roger gets the win.
Wow. What a development. Schaefer, this is why you never give up, Bill. Is stuff like that. It just fell in his lap. You always got to push every inch of the way. So that means Randall's going to be finished third, Leak fourth, Mitchell in fifth, Crum sixth, McCullum seventh, and then we got a bunch of cars that finish laps down. Moore, Mitchell, and Kaiser, the last of the field.
We'll have to do it in the semi. Time for heat number 2. This is brought to you thanks to Factor One. Factor One micro sprint chassis have been providing an unfair advantage for over 30 years. More information, factor1racing.com. Joe?
Corey Day on the top of this one. Logan Rumsey next to him outside of that front row. Kenny Miller starts in third with Colton Collins in fourth. James Andrechuk will be P5 with Avery Goodman in sixth. Then in the fourth row, it'll be Jake Erickson inside of Andrew Evans. Last row in the field is Heath Smith.
Corey Day already with a win in a main this season. Pick that up right here at this track, hoping to do it again.
Must be something weird with the second position because Logan Rumsey is there, and now he's blinking as well.
He was fine all during practice. I watched him in qualifying, did not have an issue, but now as soon as it's time to race with an attitude, he's having an issue. Hopefully he'll get that worked out. It worked out okay for
green.
drivers in the last seat. Time to go racing. Corey Day out in front, jumping back onto the internet now as Logan Rumsey in second. They are out in front. A battle for third. They get checked up. The driver who gets worse than that is Jake Erickson.
Ooh, almost 4 wide in the back of the pack. And this is not going to end well. Already we got a car getting turned around.
That was James Andrechuk. He gets turned around as well, and another car gets loose. That's Avery Goodman. The excitement in the back is fast and furious. Up front, we have a little bit of a battle for the lead. Corey Day now being challenged by Logan Rumsey. Look at the different line. Day down low, Rumsey middle to highish line. Very high line there.
I'd honestly equate this in difficulty to the UMP Modifieds when we went to Charlotte. It's just really tough to control these things, and you need a lot of finesse and knowledge of how these cars behave.
I have to keep the camera on Corey Day because Rumsey has blinked away. Not sure if he's going to get credit with some points. We look at Miller now, who races in either third or second, depending on what happens to Rumsey.
Rumsey's got to be careful because if he blinks out at the wrong time, the sim sometimes won't count your lap just because it doesn't detect you crossing the timing and scoring.
Great battle here, though. Going underneath was Collins. He had it for a second. He loses third. Corey Day coming around, getting the white flag. He'll have it all his way.
Interestingly, Corey's doing the reverse of what we saw from Bergeron. He's coming in really shallow, and then he kind of takes a wide line off.
Corey Day does get the win. Rumsey kind of blinks his way across the line. I guess Miller is going to get credited with third.
Yep, that's what I'm seeing. Collins fourth, Smith fifth, Goodman many laps down. He DNF sixth. Same thing with Evans, Erickson, and Andrew Chuck, the last of that 9-car field.
Okay, if I can follow along, I guess that does it for us. Now we go to one of the semis. That's going to be brought to you by... Do we one more hit? The miscount? All right, Heat 3. All right, here we go. That's WR1 Sim Heat. There we go, Heat number 3. Built by racers for racers, WR1 Sims are the choice of industry professionals like Kyle Larson and Christopher Bell. You can check them out at WheelerMetals.com. All right, Joe, who's up for Heat number 3?
Hayden Purdue, of course, up at the top. Now, interestingly, Kobe Stidham, who is in second, has a steady internet connection. Let's hope that that stays the same. Bergeron will be third, and Hunter Brady fourth. Evan Spalding will be P5, and flanked on the outside is Jet Barnes. Grayson Springer seventh. Cannon Posey eighth. Scott Bradley rounds out this 9-car heat.
Joe, I'm having some issues. Go ahead and call.
Green, green, green.
Green flag is out, and it's Purdue taking the start, but he goes immediately to the high side. Kobe Stidham going to try to run the low line, but a couple cars spinning out towards the back. Stidham now joined on the low side by Purdue as they come around and complete that first lap. But look at the momentum up on that high side from Bergeron trying to make it work, and a battle for the lead, Bill, as it looks like Stidham trying to challenge Purdue for that top spot.
Continue to fight up top. Now a pass for the lead, Joe.
Purdue pulls that over under. Oh, and there that goes. Exactly what I was talking about. You can't clip those tires down at the bottom. Stidham really slowed up, and that opens the door for Bergeron, who's now in second. So Bergeron looks for the low side, seeing if he can get a little bit of a crossover. Too wide of a track, hold up. Purdue gets back to the lead, but it's looking more and more like Alex, one of our fresh champions in the official iRacing series, is able to get through to the A main. The lap car with him, I believe, down at the bottom. That's Cannon Posey trying to stay out of the way. Still back and forth between Purdue and Bergeron. Bill, go ahead.
Actually, now look at this. Here comes Kobe Stidham into the mix as he's been watching back there. They work the white flag lap. Here we go. Purdue up in front. Let's see if Bergeron forces the issue. He goes down low. That's going to open the door for Stidham, who's going to steal the transfer spot.
Wow, that was sort of an odd slide job, but it works. He just managed to stick it in front of Bergeron, who I'm not sure how he's going to be scored because he actually cut through the grass on that. So looks like he'll get third. Jet Barnes will be scored fourth. Spalding fifth. Springer sixth. Bradley seventh. Brady eighth. And Posey a lap down in ninth.
All right, now if I shuffle through the index cards, it's time for our first semi brought to you by Allgaier Performance. Your one-stop shop for everything high performance in the Midwest. Check them out on Facebook.
Chase Randall starts up at the top of this one. Bergeron, because of that finish, will be P2. Colton Collins starts third and Colin Mitchell fourth. Then it's Evan Spalding, P5, with Avery Goodman on his outside in sixth. Next row has Brandon McCullough on the inside, Scott Bradley on the outside, Jake Erickson in ninth, Ryan Mitchell 10th, and Cannon Posey comes back in 11th place.
This time we are going 10 laps. Again, no yellow flag for this one. Top 5 will advance.
And if you don't make it through this one, you basically hang up your race suit and just get to watch the A main. You're done.
Guy on the outside looking in, Avery Goodman. Watch out for him outside of row number 3. Chase Randall up in first. Should be able to get to the transfer position. Alex Bergeron, last side of low one after that. Getting nipped for the transfer spot in the heat race we just saw, Joe.
Going to be one car easier to get through. Jake Erickson seems to have lost connection, so he's not going to race.
Pace truck is in. Chase Randall does not get the greatest to start. Bergeron on the outside will have a run. Also on the top side is Colin Mitchell. He falls back into fourth. Now he comes underneath. Look at the battle up front. Bergeron up high. Randall in the middle. Bergeron with momentum.
Bergeron now leads, actually. I was watching the start on this one, and in his first heat, he starts out on the outside, like you said, trying to carry as much speed as he can, and it's worked beautifully this time around. He learned a lot in that first heat race.
They continue to race up front. There is a battle back there for third position. On the top side is Collins. Down low is Goodman.
Colin Mitchell's on the bubble right now, and P5, Cannon Posey's trying to catch him, but struggling using that low line.
Avery Goodman comfortable in third. We go back up front where these guys are pretty darn set. Bergeron's opened up about a 10-car length lead over Randall. Goodman, Collins, and now Colin Mitchell, like Joe said, in the fifth spot. He seems safe as well. Cannon Posey, the youngster, trying to get that transfer spot.
Yeah, I'm surprised Cannon hasn't tried to move the car up the track, because it seems like it's too dry down at the bottom. You can even see it on the track. Just doesn't seem like he has any sort of speed to run down Mitchell, especially off the corners. And we've seen you can snipe someone to the line if you time that right. So if I were him, I'd move up high.
Going back up to Bergeron as we are looking at working lap number 9 now. There's one more to go. He'll have a car of Scott Brady to get around. Should not be an issue. Nice battle for 6. Here comes Posey.
I was going to say, Posey's starting to make a liar out of me. He's not finding the drive off the corner, and that run to the line is what you want.
We'll come back as Bergeron picks up the win. Everybody else is going to be safe. Let's look at Posey. Here he comes, Posey, trying to get the transfer spot. I think so. I think Mitchell is going to get it. Safety products of the highest quality. You want to know more about them? SharpAdvantageSafetyProducts.com.
Kenny Miller is on the pole with Parker Leak starting outside him. Jet Barnes in third with Heath Smith P4. Chance Crum will start fifth. Grayson Springer in sixth. Andrew Evans is not out there, so I think he might not start the race. Matt Moore eighth. Hunter Brady ninth. James Andrewchuk 10th. And Matt Kaiser rounds out the 11 cars that are supposed to grid.
Top 5 will advance. Race control getting them all lined up. Not a lot of big names in this one. Chance Crum probably the biggest one sitting back there inside of row 3. Time to go racing. Down low, Kenny Miller. He gets a good jump up top, Parker Leak.
Watching that last round, seeing how much speed you can build up early on, and it's already helping. In fact, I think he might have the lead off this corner. No, he just cuts down too shallow.
Now making contact. That was Heath Smith who got into Jet Barnes. Leak is on his lid now. Leak was racing up front.
And Miller's starting to run away with it. Moore's trying to chase him down, with Matt Kaiser basically running third.
Miller and Leak got together as they were fighting for the lead. Leak got the worst of it. Miller now comfortable. Matt Moore, who we saw race earlier, sits in second.
Heath Smith is struggling. Yeah. This is the fight to try and transfer. Right now it goes to Springer and Smith, but barely. This is Andrewchuk and Barnes trying to catch him, and Barnes goes over. He's out of it.
Andrewchuk just gets tapped from Springer. They continue to fight for this transfer position. Smith now back into fourth. Andrewchuk has managed to survive. He's in fifth, and now he's got nobody challenge him. Hunter Brady's way far back in sixth. That one looks safe.
Yeah, that is a sigh of relief for the number 20 car. Basically just has to bring it home nice and safe. This is when you run not necessarily fast line, but the comfortable one. Moore
out in front. Really safe. You see the gap between him and the next car chasing him. Matt Kaiser. Boy, there's more bumping going on from the back, though. They're not done fighting. More coming around. He will advance, as does Matt Kaiser. Looks like it's pretty neat safe from there, Joe.
Yeah, it looks like Andrew Chuck actually moves himself up to third. Smith to fourth. Brady, the last one through, into fifth. Grayson Springer is going to finish just outside him. He's done. Kenny Miller is out. Jet Barnes, eighth. Parker Leak, ninth. Chance Crum and Andrew Evans as well, which brings us to the feature.
Ergot Real Estate Group. They are the sponsors for the main event. Servicing the greater Indianapolis area, they specialize in helping racers get that home of their dreams or shop of their dreams.com. All right, Joe, who we got out there?
We've got Brennan Rogers starting up top with Corey Day next to him, and Aiden Perdue. How's that for an all-star? Jonathan Schaefer starts fourth with Logan Rumsey in fifth place. Kobe Stidham in sixth, and Bergeron all the way down in seventh. Outside of him, Bill, is Matt Moore.
Then the back half of your 16-car field, Chase Randall and Matt Kaiser. Avery Goodman, James Anderchuk is able to advance. Colton Collins. Keith Smith, despite his issues, will advance as well. The last row, Collins Mitchell and Hunter Brady. There are yellow flags on this one. This is a 30-lap event. It'll be a fast one. Keep your eye on the number 91. I like Jonathan Schaefer.
Yeah, it certainly seems strong. Also keep an eye out for cars spinning, because we might have a lot of cautions here today, so being up front might be very important.
Green, green, green.
Car comes in. And there's the chickens they come around the cows. The horses are out of the barn, and we are racing for real. Brendan Rogers out in front. Down low, that's Aiden Perdue. Rogers cuts them off.
I'm amazed we managed to get this first
Going
lap.
around
I spoke too soon.
Corey Day goes around.
And Matt Kaiser hits him, and he's on his lid, but still no caution.
Oh my goodness. Hopefully Kaiser can get his car off the track. I guess we do, and we continue to race. That was surprising. That moves Logan Rumsey now up into third. Great race back and forth.
Dude's honestly on the hunt for Rogers as well. They might get some lap traffic here pretty quickly. It's a very, very short track, and without the caution coming out, a number of drivers got held back.
Working lap number 5. Bergeron up top being challenged by Perdue. He continues to hang on to it.
It is a hornet's nest here in the mid-pack. Everybody just searching for where there's grip, and when you got all those different lines going on, it's hard to predict where 5 different cars are going to wind up on the track.
That's Schaefer with the drive down low in front of Kobe Stidham. Bergeron is back there as well, trying to make his way up. All this going on behind Rumsey, who's in third.
Bergeron's been threading the needle. He's been experimenting with lines and managed to avoid everybody, but that ends here. Oh, and a big accident for Chase Randall because of that. No caution. He's getting it going, so I think we're okay.
Now, let's go to up front because we got lap traffic to work on. This is interesting. Bergeron now getting around Randall and Collins. He's working the top line.
And all the lap traffic is complicating things as well. It can be hard to tell who you're racing with and who you're not, because these drivers all are racing for position, but they got to let the leaders through.
Perdue actually gets up into the back. Perdue is stuck in second right now. He has nowhere to go as he's got 3 lap cars in front of him. That's Collins down low, Mitchell in the middle. Now Mitchell cuts low, Randall up top. He's got a wall of back markers to get around. Perdue is down low now. I think he's got him all cleared.
This has worked out beautifully for Rogers. He's just pulling the gap. He navigated his way through the traffic. He's completely clear. All there is James Anderchuk below him, but James is staying nicely out of the way.
Now Rumsey is in the same position that Purdue was just in. As he's stuck with those lap cars as well that include Randall, Mitchell, and Collins. They continue to fight for what would be 12th position. Finally, around the top side, you see him up top. That's Rumsey, and he clears them all.
And again, this is exacerbated by the fact that we haven't had a caution yet. All these cars that are fighting are slowing each other up. Oh, and Rumsey actually gets in the wall. He's got to repass everybody now.
That allows Jonathan Schaefer to have a fight for third. More lap cars that are banging down below.
Chase Randall gets turned around. Still no caution.
Collins gets in the way of Jonathan Schaefer. So Rumsey now has a clear position. Leaders are comfortable.
Already we're getting some drivers asking for some cooperation. Oh, and Bergeron.
With Schaefer. Schaefer goes on his cage. Comes back around and lands it.
Stewart's very, very lenient tonight on these cautions, which surprises me. But it's making it fascinating. At least we're getting a lot of green flag racing.
It is definitely entertaining. Rogers comfortably up in front. Let's check in on our leader real quick, because anything can happen now as he works on Heath Smith. He's got a nice lead. He's got about a second and a half back to the drivers trying to chase him.
Yeah, Purdue is losing
Rogers
out big time. He's about a third of the lap behind.
Couple cars upside down. They blink away, luckily.
Yeah, I think that was Stidham, who's now left. Kaiser as well, I'm seeing in the pits. Laps are going by very fast here, Bill.
Working lap 25.
Honestly, part of the challenge here at the end is just staying out of trouble. Credit to Rogers and Purdue managing to hold on to their places with everything happening around them.
It is a minefield. They're out there as we look at Rogers. Working lap number 27. Gotta feel like he's trying to clear a minefield with a hammer right now. This thing's blowing up all around him, but he's doing all right.
He's doing like you like to say. He's got to go where the others aren't, and that gives him clear track. Even if it's not the fast line, just staying out of the way of the traffic is allowing him to run away the way he has.
This and one more. He's got quite a gap on Purdue. Purdue will pick up good points. White flag for Rogers. These are the top two in your points. They finish 1-2. But once again, Rogers will increase the point lead as he picks up the main event win here at Kokomo.
He was probably hoping for some sort of caution out there.
A battle for third.
Bergeron was awful
Rumsey.
close to getting Rumsey. What a
Rumsey
recovery
gets the
for
best-
Alex.
Yeah. Coming around, Matt Moore also finishes on the lead lap. The last car on the lead lap is Avery Goodman. Okay, we'll come back and run down the entire finishing order, I believe, when we come back from break. What we'll do right now is take a short break, but don't go far. We will do that final rundown of the standings, talk to some of the drivers before we put a lock on the gate. Back in a few.
I can still remember what it was like the first time I stepped into a race car. The sound of the engine, the anticipation, but I never could have imagined where this journey would take me. My father once told me that racing is just like life. You have to stay on your toes, because you never know what's around the next corner. My name is Bill Watson, and this is my story.
Streaming cyberspace into your place via the Global Sim Racing channels. This is the GSRC's coverage of the Kokomo Speedway, Kokomo, Indiana, the CSI Shocks Spring Season Championship round number 10. The final results are in. Let's go ahead and give you those right now. It is Brendan Rogers and Aiden Perdue. They go 1 and 2. And again, Rogers continues to extend that points lead, getting to the point now where Aiden really needs to have a good race or this championship's going to be locked up real soon. Logan Rumsey comes home third, another great performance from him. Alex Bergeron was probably hoping for more. He'll have to settle for fourth, but he was impressive. Another impressive driver, Matt Moore. He gets a top 5. Avery Goodman and Heath Smith go 6th and 7th. Rounding out the first half of your field, Jonathan Schaefer in 8th. Joe?
Colton Collins finishes 9th with Colin Mitchell in 10th, and then Chase Randall finishing 11th. Andrew Chuck, I believe the last driver to cross the finish line in 12th, and you've got Stidham in 13th, Kaiser in 14th, Brady P15, and Corey Day with a very bad day himself last on the field. Bill?
All right, I get to talk to our event winner here today. It is Brendan Rogers, also our point leader. Brendan, congratulations on another win. Tell me the difference between, I've seen you do well in both the unlimited modifieds and then in these little midgets. What's the different brain set when you come in to start racing these little?
Oh yeah, you guys got a copy?
Do indeed.
Yeah, I mean, it's a whole other ball game as you'd imagine. I mean, it is. I mean, you could deduce it down to it. You know, it's the same game, just different. You know, slightly different feel, different thing. But you know, it's both how you control the car and how everyone, you know, how your competitors handle the car. You know, like no matter how good I am in a wing car, you know, Alex Bergeron's going to have the upper hand, or you know, in the modifieds, guys like Wheeler and the usuals, the Aiden Perdue's of the world, they're always just going to be good. So, you know, jumping into a midget, this is what I spend most of my time in. So this was one of those I knew if I just ran my race and kind of hit my marks, I'd be fine. When it comes to modifieds and even wing cars, like even up next week, 305s, like that's going to throw me for a twist. So anything weird like that, I think is a lot tougher for me. But this stuff right here, I mean, this is my bread and butter. So.
Is it throttle control? Because I can see it's fun to watch the midgets. I mean, they'll race on one wheel sometimes. What's the difference between how getting the power down on them?
So yeah, throttle controls everything. Modifieds, it's a different game because you're really fighting for slip angle and maximum bite out of the tires. The midget's kind of a little different because you have too much bite for your tire. So you kind of need to. There's that kind of game of attacking the corner fast enough for your tires to slip through and not bite too hard. And, you know, if you dump the throttle too much in the midget, as I think you said in the broadcast earlier today, if you dump the throttle, your RPM drops and your suspension binds up, and all of a sudden your nose is in the air and you lost a second. So that's the whole game is actually to not lift too much, especially at apex, bending the corner, setting your suspension. You dump the throttle, everything is unsprung, unhappy, and ready to bite.
Well, man, it's been fun to watch you race no matter what it is. You seem to be fast, and you got the best of Bergeron and Perdue. You're getting there. Congratulations. Good luck the rest of the way.
Yeah, thank you. And just one last thing. I did want to say good job to all the guys again today. I know Corey Day and Purdue in that race. I thought Aiden was gonna have me on the bottom there because he can get to turn 3 pretty quick if he cuts that bottom right. So I thought he was gonna have me in the first laps, and of course we didn't see any yellows, so I got to gap out and race some of those fun lap cars as usual. So no, I just I can't say enough about all the competitors. Like I knew Aiden was gonna come out hot and swing it today, and same with Bergeron and the usual suspects. Your Kobe Stidhams, your Matt Moores of the world. So just try to do my best, and I can't thank you guys for putting on the broadcast as usual.
Thanks. Good luck to you the rest of the way. That's Brendan Rogers, our winner and points leader today. Joe?
In second place, we've got Aiden Purdue ready to talk to us. And just like Brendan was talking about, Aiden, it seemed like you kept him under threat, at least in the early part of the race. And then you came upon that lap traffic. Have you ever experienced something like that with that much traffic in a dirt race?
Yeah, it was definitely tough. I was kind of watching it as me and Brennan kind of distanced. I knew it was kind of going to be definitely a challenge, but they were kind of blocking the whole track. It was kind of really tough to move anywhere that I really wanted to go. So I had to obviously find a way around that, and almost actually got wrecked a couple times. So, it's not the best, but there's always a way around it. And sometimes it just takes time, which time was obviously in my case this time, and we got around them eventually. But yeah, and sometimes it actually adds a little bit of flavor to the racing since we didn't have any yellows. Kind of makes it fun sometimes if you don't get wrecked. But in this case, it's kind of fun until almost I got wrecked. But yeah.
Yeah, speaking of flavor, it certainly felt reminiscent of some of the multi-class racing we cover on this channel. Now, it seemed like a few drivers preferred certain lines at the start of the races. I noted that Alex Bergeron seemed to really use the high line off the starts to great effect. Do you pay attention to other drivers like that, kind of seeing what they're doing in the heats that you're not running, just to see if you could pick up any tricks?
Absolutely. Alex was definitely running the high line in my heat race, and I was kind of watching that behind me. I also watched Brendan in his heat race. He had a weird line that usually you don't see a lot. It was definitely one high on 1 and 2, and then low in 3 and 4. So, I knew the track was kind of going to be weird. So I was kind of prepared. But yeah, I always watch other heat races that I'm not in just to see what the track's doing, what other drivers are doing, and what they feel is fast.
The remaining 2 rounds have 2 drastically different cars, the winged sprint car and the non-winged with all the power underneath it. Of those 2, which do you think you're stronger and have the most likely opportunity to cut down the gap to Rogers?
I definitely think the wing is better, more my style. I race wing cars in real life, so obviously that kind of helps, but I like wing cars. I'm not a huge fan of non-wing cars, but they're always fun to try something different and get away from the wing stuff. Everyone.
All right. Well, we'll look out for Aiden Purdue coming next round at Lima Land, where we've got the Wing 305. Bill, that was our second place finisher.
Get to talk to the guy who finished third, hailing out of Manchester, Pennsylvania, 12-year-old Logan Rumsey. Logan, congratulations, man. You continue to get faster each event.
Yeah, I felt really good there. Started 5th and just got my way up to 3rd. Sorry that I took out Corey Day there. I don't know what happened. It might have been neck good, but then just started running the top, and lap cars were kind of a mess there. It was fun getting around in them, and saw Purdue running the top, and then I went to the top, but not the best driver on the bottom on those hammered-on racetracks, so I stayed on the top. Made a couple mistakes, and Bergeron was right on my tail, but still got 3rd.
Yeah, we go through a cycle of cars, the big unlimited modifieds and these midgets. Do you have a preference of the cars that we race this season?
I'm kind of better at the open wheel cars. Modifieds and late models and stuff like that aren't really my thing, but
I got it. Well, I'm going to get you out on this one. You're a youngster. Is iRacing your main hobby, or do you do other video games? Do you have other hobbies?
Yeah, of course I race in real life, but I just play with my friends on here and then run this and a couple other leagues for fun. and just practice for the race weekends.
Got it. Congratulations. Let us know how you're doing on the real world. Good to have you finishing third today. Logan Rumsey gets our final spot as he comes home in third. That's our last interview tonight. GSRC would like to thank the sponsors, especially the series sponsor, CSI Shocks, for making the broadcast a reality. On screen now are some of the equipment and software used to stream cyberspace into your place. Additional thanks to June Alon, who provides our iconic music. See the screen to how to get a hold of more of her great work. The CSI Shocks will be back for their round number 11 in 1 week. That's going to be June 5th. When it's going to be the Wing 305 Sprints. We're going to go back to Limaland. GSRC will be there. We hope you join us. Sliding across your screen right now are some of the upcoming broadcasts. Check those out and mark them down on your calendar. If you want to know how to get a hold of us, globalsimracingchannel.com. Social media, we have options. Twitter at GSRC Channel, Facebook at Global Sim Racing Channel, Instagram at GSRC_Graham. Also, if you haven't done so yet, become a YouTube subscriber by hitting that big red button so you don't miss a thing here at GSRC. Finally, on behalf of the entire crew, that would be Joe, Sean, and Dougie, I'd like to thank all of you for watching. As he does it again, the Camarillo Cannonball, Brennan Rogers, picks up another win, round number 10 here at Kokomo. With that said, we're off to have fun, storming the castle. So until next time, race clean, race hard, and we'll see you on the track.